morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is. I have finally finished my organization for the living room. I am so excited. Little table where I can work on videos for YouTube and do all my business stuff right here. And then I got all of this decluttered, cleaned out, have some nice greenery in the background, and of course, me and Jordan's iconic photo. It all started with a bunny and a bear. It is so cute. So anyway, over here I have my storm glass next to the wax warmer. And what's cool about this, guys, is this actually detects barometric pressure depending on how the crystals form. So you can actually predict what the weather's going to do. I think according to that, it means it's going to be windy today. But so far, all I'm seeing is a slight breeze. So I don't know. We'll see how accurate this thing is. So anyway, guys, I told you guys I would do a video. I've been so excited to do a video on how I took $40 and turned it into over $8,500 in buyer margin to trade with on a daily basis, monthly basis, whatever you choose. So I did a video about Robinhood. This is the app this is my favorite app. I've used a few sites. I've used SureTrader. I have used TD Ameritrade and other sites. The problem that I had early on when I began to trade years ago and played around with it was that one of the sites were charging nearly $7 trade fee just to buy a stock. So if I wanted to, say, spend $10 that week, because that's all I could afford was $10, and I buy a stock for $10, I get lucky. I get very blessed, and if the stock goes up by 10%, I end up getting $1 in interest and sell it for $11, right? I made a good profit, in the couple of weeks that I had that $10 in stock. Well, when I sold the stock, then they charged me nearly $7 for that. So I ended up paying $14 in order to just invest $10 and only make $1. So I ended up losing on each investment. And I'm like, there's got to be another way. This is insane. Like, how do people do this? So I ended up stumbling across Robinhood, and I absolutely love it. I've been with Robinhood since the first videos that I did in December, January, something like that. Just before, I guess it was December 2018. I absolutely love them. They're incredible. They do not charge you any fees to trade on Robinhood. So when you invest $10, you can invest any amount. Like, that is the cool thing about Robinhood. Like, some people say, well, I can't afford $40 a week. Well, I can't afford $10 a week. But I could afford, $5 a week. Whatever you can afford, you can put into Robinhood and begin trading with immediately. There are penny stocks. There are, stocks you can buy for $1 a share. There are so many ways and opportunities to make money in investing no matter what your income level is. So I did a video on YouTube not too long ago and I actually released it on American Truckers, and I was talking about how I literally traded in about a 5-minute span of time and I made a $40 profit. And then we immediately walked inside the Flying J in Effingham, Illinois, and we got us a pizza and snacks and junk food on purpose just to show how easy it is to make that money and just spend it in the truck stop. Like, it was completely paid for free because of making money in the stock market. So I released that video. We had so many people join Robinhood. Like, I had droves, guys. We must have had 50 or more people join Robinhood. Like, everybody was excited. However, there was like 10% of people that were like, that's a scam, blah, 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 blah. Some people saw my trading balance because I showed it on the screen. I wanted to show you guys in real time. Click buy, wait a few seconds, it rises up. I sell it for $40 more. Boom, I made money. Transfer into my bank account. It's like done. Like, I wanted to show you guys. So I got a lot of criticism because people were saying, well, you're trading with like $3,000 in cash in your trading account. So of course you can make money if you had $3,000. If we had $3,000, we could make money. So there's some misunderstanding about that. I am not truly trading with all of my own money, and I'm going to share that with you in this video on how you can trade with margin and how the investors do it every day. So the way margin typically works when it comes to stock trading sites, and almost every trading site has margin that I'm aware of. I know SureTrader has a 6 times margin depending on what stock it is. However, I found it quite difficult. There was a lot of errors with SureTrader. It's an offshore trading site. It's been around. It's notable, dependable. But it has a lot of glitches and errors when trying to trade in real time, or the 6 times trading equity that they give you is only applicable to some stocks. So, another stock you might find you have no margin. And I just found it to be very, very frustrating. So I ended up backing off of SureTrader. I think TD Ameritrade's like a 2 times margin. They'll give you like double what you have in the account. But how margin typically works, and all traders use margin, it depends on how healthy your trading account is. If you've made some good profits, you're showing interest, you're being responsible with the money, typically a trading platform will give you what's called a trading margin. And that is an extended line of credit to trade with, because they know that just having that balance in the account, the more balance you have, just like a bank, the more money they're essentially earning off of you having your money in the trading account. So they have every motive to go, oh my God, she's getting good at this trading thing. Let's extend some more margin to her and see how she does, and if you do very well, then all of a sudden you have more margin. So how Robinhood works, and how this becomes so powerful, and this is the secret. This is the secret that so many people, traders in the market, use to all of a sudden be trading with $100,000, $200,000, $250,000, and you're like, where did they come into all this money? It multiplies, and I'll share with you what I mean. With Robinhood, how trading margin works is initially it is free. There is no fees. You can buy and sell stocks. The only restriction to buying and selling on Robinhood is there's a U.S. law that you cannot day trade, which means buy and sell the same stock in the same day more than 3 times in a 5-day period. That is U.S. law unless you have over $25,000 in your trading account. It's just a law here in the United States. So you can still day trade, you just can't do it more than 3 times in the week. Robinhood will restrict you. Once you hit your 3 times, you can't trade in the same day the same stock. So if you're looking to day trade, that is the limitation right off the bat with Robinhood. However, if you're wanting to swing trade, which means buy a stock and wait, at least 1 day, 24 hours, or rolling over to the next date before you sell it at the soonest, Robinhood has no restrictions, and there's no law restricting you from trading like that all the time. So I found Robinhood to be such a good platform to trade with. Now, in order to trade with margin on Robinhood, they require a $2,000 minimum balance to be able to apply for Robinhood Gold. Robinhood Gold, I believe it's $10 a month. It's not very expensive, and it gives you up to a 3 times margin on your investing account. So say you have that initial $2,000 balance, you apply for gold, you get approved, pay the $10 fee, and immediately you have access to $6,000 to trade with on an ongoing basis. You may say, well, I don't have $2,000. That would be like my whole life savings. I didn't have $2,000 either. I hit some hard times back and forth. As one thing that I don't talk about a lot, but I need to, is I actually went through bankruptcy about a year and a half ago, and I lost everything. I lost a house. A house got foreclosed on me. My engine blew up. I was carless for a while. I was nearly homeless, and I filed bankruptcy. I lost everything. So everything that I've earned, I've started from literally nothing. So how did I turn $40 a week into $2,000 where I could apply with Robinhood Gold and then begin to trade with major margins that today, by the way, my current trading limit as of today, and they do restrict part of your margin depending on what percentage of your investments are in cryptocurrency, because they're very risky. So I do 10% into crypto, which does limit my margin slightly. I could actually have a higher margin, but my current margin today to trade with is $8,500. I'm not even barely touching my margin, in my trading account, but it is available. So what I did, guys, is I just immediately, every single week, like clockwork, I put $40, 40, into the trading account, and I began to just trade different stocks. I used a couple different strategies. One I talked about with you guys over Christmas, which is a great strategy. I cannot believe how well this stock trick works. Anybody can do this. I have earned 12.05% in 1 month. That is 4 times more than a CD pays in a year. Dogs of the Dow, and it's a way to calculate yield versus price and kind of find undervalued stocks and which ones are, about to spike. It is a sure and tested 30-year stock strategy that many investors use, and it's very safe. You're investing in major companies that you can trust, Microsoft, so forth. But here's the downside to Dogs of the Dow is you could be holding on to those stocks for a year. You could be holding on to them for 6 months or more. I got lucky personally, and I ended up like doubling my money and tripling my money in no time investing in some of those stocks because they did spike earlier in this year. So all of a sudden I was making 8-12% on one, and then I'd roll it into the next one and then, make 8 or 12%. And that's compounding times $40 every month, or every week that I'm putting in. So before you know it, I've got hundreds of dollars that's beginning to double and triple and quadruple. There is an even easier trading strategy that I absolutely love, and that is the Motley Fool. It is a trading advisory site, and they actually list the stats of each of their advisors on how accurate they are. I know my favorite is Dave, and his advisory list. You're going to make major income on each of the stocks that he advises. They also compare that to the S&P 500, and they are outpacing them by like 3 or 4 times. It's incredible how accurate these people are. So they have a subscription. They're a subscription-based service, and highly recommend it. It is like $100 a year if you just buy. It's like $99 if you just buy the year. I highly recommend you do it. If you don't have the $100, I highly recommend doing their monthly. I believe they have a monthly at like $12.99 a month. It is worth every penny to get this advisory service. It's called the Motley Fool. I'll try to provide you guys a link to their site, and every Thursday they provide a list of their top 10 or 20 or whatever stocks that they expect to hit a major boom in a short period of time. So what I began to do, guys, was I would take, whatever money I had, whether it was $40 or $10 or, these stocks vary in price. Some of them are very inexpensive, $5 or $10 stocks. Some of these stocks are, $200 or $300 a pop. So, but what I would do is I would take the highest stock that I could afford. Like if I only had $300 in the account, I would pick, they issue it by number on their site. So obviously their number one pick would be the one they expect to boom the most. And then number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So I would take as close to a low number as I could because that had a higher chance of multiplying very quickly, slash up the price that I could afford. So I would pick a price I could afford at the highest probability that this stock was going to hit a boom very quickly, and I would invest in that stock, however many shares I had. Now, slowly, I have built up, as you guys see, I have quite a trading equity, so what I actually do now is I will invest in the entire portfolio. Like, I will create an entire portfolio based off of their stock advisory list. So if they, like this last couple weeks ago, they had 12 different stocks listed on their advisory list. I would go through the list and buy 1 share of each, all the way down, some ranging from $300, some ranging from $200, some ranging just a few dollars. And I would just go down the list, and then I would go back if I had money left over, and I would continue to go down and buy until I was out of margin. That's what I've been doing. I have already sold 3 or 4 of those stocks for over an 8% profit in just over a week. So in 1 week, I'm making 8%. If you multiply that, guys, that kind of interest rate, guys, and that time span, you're doubling your money in like 6 weeks. Like, it's incredible how fast you can multiply your funds. And then it compounds, of course, because if I double my money on a stock, you know, say $200, I just made another $200. Guess what? I get a 3 times trading margin. So I just made, you know, another $200. Now I've got access to $600 more in trading margin, which I immediately divide amongst their whole entire list, because there's an 80% probability that each stock is going to hit a major boom. So even for the ones that don't immediately hit a major boom, or just kind of stay level or whatever, and I don't really make money on, 80% I did make incredible money on. And then that multiplies times 3 for the trading equity. So it compounds so fast, guys. Like, I am so excited. So what I did was I took the $40 a week and I just began to invest in one of their stocks that they advised were about to hit a boom. And immediately in a very short time, I was doubling my money. So it took a very little time. It was less than 6 months. And I already had a $2,000 balance in the account just from $40 a week. And like I said, if you can only afford $5 or $10 a week, you could still be trading with hundreds and hundreds of dollars that you're making off of putting very little in this stock trading account. The reason this is so powerful, and the underlying reason as to why this works so well and is so trustworthy, is because it is something called value investing in the investment world. Warren Buffett, up in Omaha, Nebraska, with Berkshire Hathaway. That is his secret. I was watching in my business training. They advised to, watch documentaries, read books about people's lives, biographies, especially before bed, because our minds as humans are conditioned to be receptive to stories at bedtime, right? So I've been listening to documentaries and biographies on different successful people as I fall asleep at night. Last night was Sam Walton with Walmart, and showing how he was going to competitors' stores and crawling on the aisles and, poking his nose around and asking associates, when do your shipments come? How fast do you turn product? And, anyway, so I've learned so much. And I was watching this documentary on Warren Buffett, and he was talking about value investing. He said, my secret was learning value investing from this mentor. And that is how I buy my businesses. I invest in businesses that are undervalued, and then I buy them even cheaper, making like cash offers and so forth, and then sell them for multiple times, or just take the interest as the company grows. What I like so much about this stock advisory service is they're using a value investing technique. They are calculating, and there are whole methods to do this. Like, I was learning that as well. The methods to, look over the financial statements and actually calculate what a stock is worth. You can divide it by how many, possible shares that company, how many public shares are tradable with the company, / the profit margin, / there's so many different figures, but it's a long process. These guys have analysts that do it every single day, and they just put out this list, once a week on undervalued companies who are worth a lot more right off the bat. Like, if it's a $10 stock, it's worth $15. And not only that, the company is in a great position on their P&Ls to increase next quarter, next 2 quarters, next 3 quarters. So you end up compounding all the odds in your favor that this is an incredible investment. It's something you can trust and make a good profit on. You would be surprised how often that happens with companies being undervalued. Like, it's crazy. Warren Buffett has made his billions off of this very investment strategy. And so these are the types of strategies that I'm beginning to employ behind the scenes that got me to this place where I could get trading margin and, now that increases. I'm making between $400 and $800 a month just trading casually, through Robinhood, and it's not costing me anything. And that 400 to 800 goes 3 times. Now all of a sudden I'm making, an extra $1,200 trading margin extra every single month. Like, it is so in it, then it just compounds, and they have something on Robinhood which is called account health, and they keep track of how well you're doing. So as long as you're doing well, they trust you with more and give you more opportunities. So it is so incredible, guys. Like, there are so many ways to make money out there. Years ago, I would have thought a lot of this stuff is scams. My big thing is when you begin to study the lives of individuals like Sam Walton and Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and, and Jeff Bezos, and see what are these guys doing? Like, what are they doing different that has turned their whole life around and made them billions of dollars, quite literally. So once you begin to study some of these things, you notice common threads on the ways they think. There are so many different strategies that could go on for hours, but I just love to learn about this stuff, and I wanted to share it with you guys. I wanted to let you guys know that this opportunity is out there for you. I'm going to include a link to Robinhood and a link to the stock advisory service, the Motley Fool. I don't believe I could get any credit for referring you to the Motley Fool. I just truly recommend it. If you click on the link to get a Robinhood account, they will give you and me both, a stock for free. And some of the stocks are very valuable. One of the stocks that I got for recommending somebody ended up being Facebook stock. I made $120 something just for referring somebody, and I got the stock for free. And then I immediately sold it, and guess what? Doubled my trading margin, so that turned into $240. So it's incredible, guys. Like, there's no reason not to do this, even if you took just a couple dollars here and there and put it in, and just invested in this. It's like so easy. We're going to look at some of these things, but there are so many ways to make money out there. I just wanted to give you a little inspiration and brighten your day, and I will have many more videos soon. I love you guys.